Am I the asshole for what I told my mother-in-law when she asked to be in the delivery room? My husband, 33 male, and I, 30 female, are expecting a baby boy. We're barely catching up with preparations and getting everything ready. His mom, kind of a busybody type, but can be helpful at times, invited us for dinner and said she had an important request to make. She brought her request up at the dinner table and blatantly said that she wanted to be in the delivery room with me when I give birth. I was taken aback by her request. I really thought it had something to do with the nursery or diaper brand. I said I was sorry, but only my mom and my husband will be there. She made a face, got quiet for a while, then brought it up again. She just kept pushing, saying she is as much of a grandmother as my mom, and that she just wanted to be there for support and to get the opportunity to see her grandbaby's first moments. My husband sided with her. I just stared at her and said, "It's all right, you can have the opportunity to be in the delivery room when it's your son who's giving birth." Everyone stopped eating, and my mother-in-law left the table in an instant. My husband made me get up, although I wasn't finished with dinner, and said we should leave. In the car, he lost it on me, asking what brain cell made me think it was a good idea to tell his mom that. I told him his mom kept pushing after I'd already given her an answer. Still, he said this was the most messed up thing he heard me say. I replied that I was just frustrated and didn't mean to hurt her feelings and cause issues. He argued that if I don't want issues, then I should stop making things difficult and just say yes to his mom's request. He then ranted about how it's his son too, and then said if his mom isn't allowed in there, then he won't be there either. Now, I don't know if he really meant this or just said it in the heat of the moment, but it had me fuming. He's been ignoring me when I try to talk to him and acting like I'm not in the room. I think I might have gone too far and created tension by responding inappropriately. Am I the asshole? Edit. There has been some tension between me, my husband, and his family lately. This probably blew up because of built-up resentment. Am I the asshole for not wanting my soon-to-be ex in the delivery room? My husband, male, 41, and I, female, 39, have been trying to conceive for 5 years. Our sex life became mechanical as we focused on the timing for conception rather than desire. Despite both of us wanting children, this approach took a toll on our relationship. Recently, I discovered my husband cheated on me with a friend after feeling scarred by our method of trying to conceive. His sister revealed the truth, and although he apologized and professed his love, I chose to end the marriage. After separating, I learned I was pregnant. Despite considering abortion, I couldn't go through with it as I had already lost so much, including my marriage, and had developed a bond with the baby. When I had my ultrasound, I didn't inform my ex-husband, which distressed him greatly when he found out. He expressed a strong desire to be there for the birth, but I'm uncomfortable with him being in the delivery room. He was shocked and upset when I told him this over the phone. I feel conflicted because he's no longer my husband, and I don't feel comfortable being vulnerable around him anymore. My mom thinks I'm in the wrong and called me out for my behavior, saying she won't support it. Now I'm feeling uncertain about having anyone there to support me. Am I the asshole for telling Mael she was dead to me after she showed up in labor and delivery without my mother? For the past 3 months, it's been a very well-known plan that when I, 30 female, went into labor, my husband was going to drive me to the hospital, and my male was going to pick up my mother, my kids, and my grandmother, all from one house. Both my male and my mom were supposed to be in the delivery room. My grandmother was to watch my 2 kids in the waiting room. Everyone was in agreement with the plan. Now, my husband and I have 2 sons already, and for both births, my mother was present. She helped me through so much of the mental anguish and panic, especially after my last birth, which literally almost killed me. I was bleeding out on the table, and my mom was the only one able to keep me calm. I needed her to be with me for this baby too, mentally. So, we worked out this plan months in advance, and everyone was on the same page. However, when I went into labor, we made the phone calls to MIL and my mom, telling my mom to be ready and my MIL to go get my mother. An hour and 15 minutes later, MIL shows up at the hospital without my mom, my kids, or my grandmother. She said, "Well, it's late, so we need to just let everyone sleep." It was 9:30 p.m., and then sat down in the delivery room and started using her phone. I told her in a pissed-off tone to go get my mom because that was the plan and I needed my mom, etc. She just wouldn't. At one point, she said she didn't feel up to driving that much. My mom lives 20 minutes from her house, an hour away. So I told her to get out of the room and that she was dead to me. The amount of resentment and disgust I felt toward her in this moment is honestly not something I feel I will overcome anytime soon. She was upset, saying that my mom had already experienced 2 births and how she didn't do anything wrong and was just being respectful of people's sleep. Since she wasn't leaving, she was escorted out. Fortunately, my mom was able to make it to the hospital just as I was giving birth. My kids and my grandmother weren't able to make it, which bothers me a great deal. We promised our kids they would be the first to meet their sister, outside of us, and Grammy. I cannot forgive my male for this at all. I honestly feel like I hate her with every fiber of my being. But I'm being told I'm taking this too far, and that it wasn't that big of a deal. AITA? Am I the asshole for not allowing my husband to pick who's in the delivery room? This is my 22 female, and my husband's 22 male second pregnancy. For the first pregnancy, I chose to have my grandmother in the delivery room because my mother is not in the picture. This time, my husband is insisting that his mother be in the delivery room, and to him, it's non-negotiable. Some context, my male has hated me from day one as she feels I've taken her son from her. We've had screaming matches because of her entitlement and my fear and worry. She is very judgmental, and I've never felt accepted by her. The latest incident was when she came to my house high for Thanksgiving. I told her she needed help as I don't condone that behavior around my firstborn. She kept asking to babysit my child up until Christmas. I lost my cool. My husband didn't stand up to her, knowing she would deny everything. I ended up calling her names, and she responded in kind. I've tried to fix the relationship, but the ball is in her court, and she's done nothing. Now, my husband demands she be in the delivery room despite our bad relationship. I feel trapped because if I say yes, I will have a horrible labor with her there. If I say no, my husband will think I'm selfish. He doesn't ask for much, and he's very supportive, but I'm the one physically giving birth. So, am I the asshole for not wanting her there? Edit 1. My husband takes care of me and supports me. He only asks for common respect, which I struggle with, but am working on. He is the best husband and doesn't let anyone walk over me or talk badly about me. Edit 2. I offered a compromise. No one in the delivery room except him and me, and his family can be the first to see the baby postpartum. He rejected this, feeling it wasn't a good compromise and that he comes second in our relationship. He got emotional about it. Edit 3. I had an ultrasound a week before posting this, and he suggested inviting his parents. They refused, so my Mael had an opportunity to be part of this pregnancy, but chose not to. Edit 4. He says he needs support during labor, as it's mentally and physically draining. If he needs to step out to eat, he wants his mother there. During the first birth, he wasn't comfortable with my grandmother being there, but agreed because I was scared. Now I'm okay with it being just the two of us. I'd love my sister there because she's my biggest supporter, but he thinks it should be fair since he wasn't comfortable with my grandmother being there. He feels I should be okay with his mother being there. I've heard I might regret not having Mill there, but that's my regret to live with, not his. Am I the asshole for not letting my partner film in the delivery room? I, 27th female, and my partner, 31 male, are expecting a baby in a couple of weeks, and he really wants to film the birth process from the start of contractions through after the baby arrives. Besides the fact that most hospitals don't allow filming, ours allows it at the doctor's discretion for good reasons, staff privacy, liability. I personally don't want him to for a few reasons. I'm going to be in extreme pain and vulnerable, and I don't want to feel more watched than I already will be during those moments. I want him fully present with me and involved in any decisions we might need to make, not preoccupied with camera angles. I don't want him distracting or interfering with the birth because others in the room might be worried about how their actions look on camera, me, the staff, etc. I feel strongly about this and have already told him I don't want it. The thing is, filming really matters to him, and he got pretty mad at me for not respecting why this is so important to him, family documentation, forming his own memories. I'm considering not allowing him in the delivery room if he won't accept that he can't film it. Am I the asshole? Update. After reading your input, I'm feeling more confident that I'm not the asshole. That wasn't clear to me before because I've always viewed this process of becoming parents as just as much his as it is mine through every stage. I wanted us both to feel good about how we experienced the birth-specific part. However, given the vulnerability and privacy involved for me during birth, which he won't be experiencing, it's clear that my comfort should be weighed more heavily.